Hey YouTube world, Sean here. I'm back with another tutorial. This one's regarding cleaning the AC ductwork in my 2017 GMC Sierra. This is also going to apply to the 16 to 19 Silverados and the 16 to 19 Sierras. The reason why I'm doing this is I've noticed this kind of musty, moldy smell coming out of my vents when I kick the AC on, and so I figured it was time to do some maintenance on this. Without further ado, let's get started on this. Alright, so as you can see, I've already torn my truck apart, but I'm going to go through the steps on what I did and what I removed. The tools you're going to need to do this is you're going to need a Torx T15 bit. You're going to need a 7mm either nut driver or a Deepwell socket. You're going to need a can of Lysol Disinfectant spray and also a can of the, I use the AC Pro duct cleaning spray. There's several other options that you can buy. I just had this one at my local parts store, so I figured I'd pick this up. Here's the steps as we get going on this. So the first thing you need to do is remove kind of all of this lower area, the glove box, and also I went ahead and removed the lower cover that covers up the blower motor because I wanted to inspect the inside of where the AC condenser is. So let's move down here. Let me kick this flashlight on. All right, to start with, the lower cover is held on by 4 bolts. They're going to be the 7mm bolts. There's 2 in the back, one on this side and one over here. They're a pain to get to, and that's where I used that Deepwell socket. It was a lot easier to reach those, and I used actually a 7mm nut driver to reach the front ones. But once you remove the lower cover, it's going to expose this blower motor. The blower motor is held on by 3 screws. It's going to be this screw right here. There's 1 screw right there, and then there's 1 over here in the back. Once you remove those screws, actually, and you can leave this unit attached to it, but once you remove those screws, this unit's going to come down. There's a plug in the back right there where you can see that little red spot. That plug is going to be unclipped, and that whole blower motor is just going to drop down, and you can remove it. Once you have that removed, you can put your camera phone up into the void and face it this direction. This is where your AC condenser is, or your coil is. I took my blower motor out to inspect that because I wanted to make sure there wasn't any like lint or debris or anything like that was clogging up that AC condenser coil, which mine was actually super clean, so I was pretty happy with that. Once I inspected that, I went ahead and reinstalled the blower motor, and then I moved on to actually getting the ductwork all cleaned up. So now that we have the blower motor reinstalled, I went ahead and removed the upper glove box. That's held on by 4 T15 Torx screws. One right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. Once you remove those screws, the glove box literally just pulls out, and it gives you access to this back area. In the back area here, and I'm going to try to face a flashlight here. In this back area here is where your cabin air filter is. It goes in this chamber right there, and that's where we're actually going to be working with today. So you're going to be removing your cabin air filter. There's going to be a cover that looks like this that's in place. Pull that cover off and then pull your cabin air filter out. Once you remove that cabin air filter, this is where all the work is going to be done. Like I said, one of the cans of this AC spray say to spray it in through the outside air inlet, which would be underneath the hood, right below the windshield. I opted not to, and the reason why is because if you look up in there, literally like right there is where the inlet is. So it doesn't do any good to be spraying it right there when you can just remove the cabin air filter and spray it directly through here. It'll end up in the exact same place anyways. So I opted for the easier route of just spraying it right through here. Okay, so before we begin, the first thing we need to do is we need to start the truck up. Once you've started the truck, turn your blower motor on high or your fan on high, and then kick the AC on. I lowered my AC temperature down to about 78 degrees and let it get cold before I started spraying the product in. Once it was cold, I sprayed alternately the AC Pro vent cleaner and then Lysol in, and I did it for about 3-second bursts let it clear out for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then I sprayed in the other product. I did that back and forth for about 10 to 15 minutes. As well, during that time, I ran through the different settings of the ducting. So I did like the upper defroster vents, I did just the face vent, the foot vent, and then the face and the foot vent. And I alternated through those different vents over, you know, a period of that 10 to 15 minutes. Once I finished doing that, I actually turned the AC off and I allowed the temperature to raise back up to kind of defrost that coil. I also, during that time, sprayed some more of the Lysol Disinfectant and the AC Pro back through again. And then finally, I just let it sit there and run for another additional 5 to 10 minutes to clear any extra moisture out of the system, to dry it all out. After that, it's time to reinstall everything. So I'm going to install a brand new cabin air filter. Just remember that the arrows point down, as that's the direction of flow through the blower motor. Install the cover over that and then reinstall the glove box. Also, if you removed that lower cover, make sure you reinstall that with those 7mm screws as well, and you're good to go. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment and I'll try to respond as soon as I can. And if you liked this video or found it informative, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thanks again for watching.